Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We got a wonderful episode for you, a little fun episode, because here's the big question.
Who is your doctor, and what did they do? Pretty awesome.
My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend.
I left the brakes on again. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. My name is Christian Basil. We've got an all-star cast here today on our panelists. And the question for today is, who is your doctor and what did they do? We'll explain a little bit right here, but what we're talking about. But first off, let me start to the guy on my left right here, the guy who's a little quiet. Dr. Freedom himself, Brian Burress. How you doing there, Brian? Welcome to the show.
Pretty good. How's everyone out there doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great. And we got an exciting episode for tonight. And plus, don't forget to be interactive, folks. You can chat in here. Just ask your questions away. What we're looking for is, while I'm doing the panel, so you guys can think about this, question that I usually get is, when was your definitive moment in the new Who that kind of was your signature for Doctor Who? So that's why the question came up in a weird way. It was, who's your doctor and what did they do? So what was that definitive moment that you said, oh my goodness, this is the doctor. This is the moment that I say, this is the doctor, and this is the example. This would probably be something that you would show your friends if they were explaining, hey, what is Doctor Who? Why would I enjoy this, and what gives here? So let's continue on with Nietzsche Mulchin. How you doing there, Nietzsche? Turn on that microphone.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
So annoying. Sorry. I was trying to put through the live watch party. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, we like the viewers. We like the viewers out there. So Nisha, welcome. Are you doing okay over there?
I am doing okay. I am waiting for that COVID result, as you guys know from our last show.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a nail biter right there. Right?
Yep. Yeah. What do you think?
I'm fingers crossed. I hope everything goes okay. I hope
it will be. I've been fine.
We want to introduce our friend over here. He's been on the show before. This is Mike Faber.
And
hey, Mike
everybody.
Faber, how you doing there, sir? Please explain the ESO network, because if I do it, I'm going to mess it up.
ESO Network is a network of, right now we're up to 23 shows featuring all different geeky topics. It's basically a network for geeks by geeks. And we've been around for almost 8 years. And we have all different types of shows, anything from general sci-fi, general geekiness, or we actually have a couple Doctor Who shows on our network, including my show, which is Earth Station Who. And one of your co-hosts was our lovely guest just a couple weeks ago, which was pretty darn awesome. Oh, yes. Our friend Melanie actually hung out with us, and we actually had a great talk about partners in crime just a few weeks ago on Earth Station Who, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Awesome there. Did you have a good time, Melanie? I'm sure.
Of course. It was an absolute blast.
Is that one?
If you're listening to our show, you need to go over and check out Earth Station Who. The whole panel is amazing. And I felt very welcomed by everybody and Mike.
All right.
Even me. I even let her feel comfortable. Yeah. And the other Mike.
And Howdy Mike.
Exactly.
So we'll definitely make sure we get a link to the Traveling TARDIS. So we want to see that episode with Melanie's, and so I can just go, yeah, that was Melanie. That's awesome. So to continue on, And where could they? Actually, let me put this in there, Mike. Where can they find the ESO network?
Obviously, esonetwork.com.
Well,
Nice and simple. And we're also up on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find good podcasts. Our podcasts are even there. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, good. Well, speaking of which, special guest star of the ESO network and the lovely director and my co-host, Melanie Dean. How are you doing? Artiste Melanie Dean. I haven't said that before. I haven't said that.
Doing good. Doing well. Hope everybody else is doing well as well today. How many times we can say well in one sentence?
Well.
Well.
And we want to welcome and remember, you can be involved in the chats. I know this is a little bit maybe of a confusing topic, so I might go first on this one just to explain what's going on. And then everybody who's wanting to chat with us, make sure you can chat with either through the YouTube channel or our Facebook channel. Go tell your friends, facebook.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and then head on over there and they can tell us who is their doctor, meaning the reboot doctor. So we're staying within New Who, and what is it that they do? We want to welcome Gina Barres, Lady Gallifrey herself, Maria Antoinelle, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and we also want to welcome Graham Krause. Good evening to anyone. And Terry MacGyver says, it's a pity we couldn't get special guests in place to read out the show's subject tonight. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I borrowed that. Stole it, whatever.
Who is your doctor?
Doctor. What is it?
Ron, get to the chopper!
I have one grievance that's related to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was, what was that movie that just totally did not use Matt Smith the way I would like them to use Matt Smith?
Terminator Genesis.
I remember they were making it such a big deal that they were going to have Matt Smith in there, and I was looking for him, and it was like, oh, he's in the beginning and everything, and then he ends up 5 minutes, it's a hologram. I'm like, I'm sorry, spoilers for those of you who hadn't seen it yet, but I'm still kind of a little disappointed about that.
Yeah.
So,
well, now I don't have.
I wouldn't worry about spoiling.
Yeah, the whole movie was spoiled. Ugh, wow.
Yeah, they spoiled the whole plot of the movie in their own damn trailer.
That's true. That is true. I think it needs to go away and come back maybe in 10 years, but I don't know. I think Arnold would be a real robot by then to even act in any of those movies at that point. He'd be a little bit older on that scale. So, Melanie, what do you think? I'll go first and explain what's going on out here. I think that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
What we're doing right now is I'll explain how this came about. What happened is, a while ago, I was at a convention. And I don't even remember which convention. I think it was Claremont Comic-Con or one of those. And there was a very nice cosplayer. She was dressed up in Wonder Woman. And she realized that, well, of course, she was going like, are you a Doctor Who fan? I said, yes. So there's a whole booth behind me about this. So, yeah, exactly, Mike. Yeah, Mike, giving a what? A shrug? Or whatever. Exactly. But she was really nice. She had never seen Doctor Who. So this is my audience right here. I want to get all the Whovians, make them all Whovians out there. And she was asking me, what's it about? Where's a good place to start? All those types of questions. And lo and behold, there was I forgot if there was a TV screen or something, but the episode that was playing was the Pandorca. Was a Pandorca episode. And somebody was asking me, she was asking me, tell me a little bit about the Doctor. And I had to explain it to her this way. So to answer the question, for me to start off, who is my Doctor and what did he do? I would say it would have to be Matt Smith. And this moment over here in the Pandorca. Mm-hmm. And I explained to her at the moment when we were at the convention. There you go. For those of you who are seeing us on the YouTube channel there. What it was playing, and I had to explain to her, this is what I think about the Doctor. Here's the Doctor right here. And I had to impress her that say, is Wonder Woman your geekdom? Do you enjoy her? She goes, yes. And she was dressed up like her. And I said, I want to explain to you what I love about the Passion of the Doctor. And here's this scene coming up on the screen from the Pandorca. He's standing right there. He is completely unarmed. He's telling the bad guys he's completely unarmed. All the cards are laid up on the table. And not only that, it looks like there's a royal flush or anybody. Anybody can take a shot at him. But he's standing there basically dissing them, telling them, hey, anybody, take a shot right now. Let's do this. Oh, by the way, I have no weapons. I have no plans. I have nothing worth a damn to take you on, and I have nothing to lose. And basically, he's telling every enemy that he's ever fought, trying to protect whatever is underneath him in Stonehenge, whatever he's trying to figure out what's beneath him, he's going, but I'm going to give you a chance. And he says the one line that I just simply adore. And he goes, let somebody else try first. Now, I explained to her in relation and said, well, what if Wonder Woman did the exact same thing? Just imagine she just steps on top of a rock. She takes off her golden lasso. She takes off the crown and everything. And basically all of her enemies are standing around her. And she just basically says, you know who I am. I don't need a lasso to take you on. I don't even need this crown. So let's see who would be the first person to try and get me. And I said, this is basically the Doctor. The Doctor has a reputation throughout the known universe, all of time and space. But he does this without picking up a weapon. Well, for the most part, he does this without picking up a weapon. He does this through wit. And he does this in the face that he knows that anybody could have shot him at that moment. And when I mentioned the card playing, for those of you who play Texas Hold'em, basically there's 5 cards on the table, all 5 cards on the table. There's a royal flush about to happen. Not only does he acknowledge that he's got no hand, but he puts down his hand and he's got a 2-7 off. But everybody on the table still thinks there's a chance he's going to win. That's the kind of influence and power that the Doctor has over his enemies. He's always 1, 2, 10 steps ahead of them. And he's in the moment where he's just basically going up to his enemies and goes, hey, let somebody else try first. And what do? They all run away. They all scatter. So that would be, in the moment of the new Who, that would be that time. It would be Matt Smith on top of the Pandorica going, that would be my Doctor. And what did he do? He was standing there telling his enemies, you know, F this, for a better term, go away. You know, I've got the Pandorica over here, but ultimately ends up happening, he ends up in Pandorica, and all of his enemies win. So, but it's that shining moment for me that the Doctor showed up.
But if you think about it, it also leads into his moment right there, leads into what happens the following season with the whole thing with the silence and everything. They create an army that goes up against the Doctor because he's such a threat. And, you know, they're the ones that say, okay, he said, take the first shot. We're going to be the ones to do the first shot, basically. And they end up kidnapping Amy and using Amy's child as, you know, they basically even supposedly captured the TARDIS in the second part of this episode. And, you know, so it basically, he's daring somebody to do it and they take him up on it, basically.
And then the following season, or following seasons when Clara comes up, not only does he fall in love with the weapon that was designed to kill him in the first place, they made the weapon fall in love, which would be River Song, but he also manages to get the silence on his side when he's fighting on the planet of Christmas. They became allies. You know, the aliens that were supposed to take him down ended up being his allies to take down the Cybermen and to protect the planet of Christmas. Go figure. So,
but it's interesting because the silence, which we saw with like Madame Kevorkian and everything, was all like an offshoot of that religion. Basically, they rebelled against them. So it was just really interesting to see, you know, that people, you know, the Doctor, you know, in some cultures doesn't mean healer and such, and how River was trying to tell the Doctor that. So it was just some very interesting things. And I think that's a full Moffat thing. It wasn't an RTD thing at all.
Right.
And it's a huge arc because you got that word correct, because the term Doctor can have so many meanings, you know, whether you're the Doctor who's the destroyer or you're the Doctor who's the healer. And I think you got it perfectly, because they went from him in Pandorica, he's the destroyer. of all things.
Right.
Which is why they have to, they have to lock him away for the sake of the entire universe. But then the spectrum is completely, a good man goes to war. It's a complete turnaround in terms of what does the Doctor see as his own purpose.
And I think also a brilliant piece of writing by Moffat, because if you remember, the one planet didn't have a word for pond. That's why she became the river. So what if other interpretations of how the Doctor has spread throughout time and space and have been reinterpreted in their own language of what the Doctor means and what he has done? So it is an interesting perspective. Could the Doctor be a hero or a villain, depending upon your point of view from that? So, yeah. But it was a badass. It was a badass scene. Come on,
it totally was. It was it was so great.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Well, folks, I gave you my interpretation. I'll give you some time during the commercial break. When we return, we're going to get to your chats and more about who is your Doctor and what did they do when we return to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend.
Bateman.
What's the Bateman?
A novel set in Florida, written by Florida author D.L. Havlin. Suspense, mystery, and murder.
Evidence is in the bait.
The Bateman is available at local bookstores and online.
Jackie Sonnenberg's My Soul to Keep is a ghost story rooted in the realities of actual cults. When 13-year-old Sky Monroe arrives at her new boarding school, all she can think about is death and connecting with the afterlife. Soon she discovers her school's spirituality group, the Guardians of Light, and they have a secret. They can speak with the dead, and the organization is a cult. But this isn't Sky's only problem. The campus house where Sky resides is haunted, and even the ghosts have an agenda. They intend on getting the souls they want. Filled with mystery and intrigue plucked straight from the headlines, author Jackie Sonnenberg's research and attention to detail give this ghost story an even more eerie atmosphere. Find My Soul to Keep on Amazon.com today. Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish.
Santa, if there's one thing I want for Christmas more than anything, it's someone to spend Christmas with. Someone who really wants me to be there.
Head to the mountains of East Tennessee with romance author Jenna Hart for a Christmas writer's workshop. Since her mother passed after a long illness, Jenna has had one wish. She doesn't want to spend Christmas alone. Meeting Niccolo Maldini, cover model and actor, could make more than Jenna's Christmas wish come true. Unless Ember, Niccolo's ex-girlfriend, does something crazy to stop them from being together. It's a mountain Christmas romance you won't want to miss in Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish. Now on Amazon.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. We're here with Dr. Freedom Brian Barres. We're here with Diversity Geeks Nisha Mulchin. And we're also here with the ESO's Network and Mike Faber. Did I get that right? Mike Faber. I think I said it wrong the first time, right?
No, you said it right. I'll correct you if you do. Don't worry.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Speaking of correcting me, we have the lovely Melody Dean, co-host and director of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And don't forget to chat with us. We're live chat over here. We also want to thank all of our friends. If you're watching this live on Geek Insider, Meredith and her wonderful team, please check them out at geekinsider.com. The whole reason why you're watching us, if you're watching us on the live feed, is all by the Geek Insider, and especially on our YouTube channel. I want to thank them a lot. And we also want to just remind you that this August 15th, HarleyCon 2020, we'll remind you at the end of the show there, it's going to be hosted by Harley Quinn herself of Harley Quinn Arts Cosplay and Crafts. Amelia Poole out there. We're going to have a lot of talented people throughout the convention that is going to be taking place online. You go to the Facebook page, HarleyCon 2020, give it a like, subscribe, and you can watch the videos from there. We're going to be part of it. So check us out there, and also check us out on the YouTube channel with the Hanging with Web Show Media Group. Just go to YouTube channel, type in HWWS Media Group, and you'll be able to find and subscribe with us there. So without further ado, waiting for more comments to come on in, but who else wants to take Who's Your Doctor and what did they do? Don't be shy on this one. There we go. That's our picking.
Okay, I'll start off then.
There we go. Dr. Freedom. Dr. Freedom.
Oh, we're supposed to talk? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I thought I was supposed to just sit here and look pretty.
Okay. Okay. Now, the reason why I picked this particular moment in this particular episode was, for us oldsters, when Doctor Who came back, we were always wondering, okay, what direction are they going to take? What's happened in between the time that we've last seen the Doctor and now? Right. And then along comes this episode. Now, like I said, my honorable mention right off the bat, of course, is the nice little speech he gives to Rose when he grasps her hand, and all the way back in the first episode of the New Era, and gives that little speech about the Earth spinning. But I think the moment that defined where they're going with the Doctor in the new series was Dalek. And that's because this was a classic series villain. This is one that, we as the old school fans knew, but we had no idea to what idea, or how far this, this particular enemy, how it was going to affect him.
Right.
And when in this episode, we see just how wounded the Doctor is and how this is going to affect him going on from this point forward. And in this scene, in this particular just this tiny little room where he's confronted with him, he sets that tone, and he shows us just how wounded this character is now and how dark he's going to go and how far he's going to go, just to make sure this threat stays where it is, and just really set the tone for the whole new era as far as I'm concerned, that moment. And oh man, plus, even before this episode hit, Eccleston had that line, everything dies and everything has its time. And we do hear it repeated a little bit further along the line in the Tennant era. So while the Doctor is still trying to be himself, at the same time, he's still dealing with these demons left over from the Time War, and from, this ancient enemy that not only came back, but they came back in a big way. So as far as I'm concerned, as far as the emotional tone goes for the modern series, it started right here with Chris Eccleston, and he set the bar pretty high as far as I'm concerned, just that 1 year that he was the Doctor.
Oh, very much so. It was really interesting, too, because the look on his face when he realized that he was in the room with the Dalek, because at first he was like, oh, are you hurt? Do you need help? Because the Dalek was in the darkness. And then all of a sudden the eye lights up, and the look on his face, it's almost a mix between full hatred but pure horror. Like, wait, you're supposed to all be gone. How can you be here? And he was going through total PST.
Oh, yeah.
And he was going.
He makes a run for the door.
Yeah.
He runs to the door and like, get me out, let me out.
Let me out of
and
here.
Then he realized
exactly.
No escape. Then he went right into, from flight, he went right into fight mode.
Oh, exactly. When he first did that, it was just like, it almost reminded me of Young Frankenstein, the scene where he was in the cell with the monster, and he was like, I was kidding, let me out.
Did you know it's a joke?
Get out of here. Yeah, I do remember that scene there. And one of the things I loved about Dalek, I'm not downing the first 3 episodes, which was Rose, the Unquiet Dead, and the end of the world, but it seemed like this one. Which one of you? I think it was you, Mike, who said it. It set the series now.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't just, we're here on a planet, we're saving the day, and then we're moving on to a story. This one really struck at the Doctor, and go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it did, but it also set the template for the whole new series on how badass the Daleks were. because if you remember how ridiculous they had gotten in the old series and everything. The great thing with the last time they appeared with the Seventh Doctor and Ace, they finally showed them going up the stairs and floating and everything. But
Right.
this showed a whole one Dalek taking out a whole base all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dalek would have won in this one if it wasn't for Rose, pretty much.
And I'm not downing, I think it was the Dalek episode with the Seventh Doctor. He's climbing up the stairs and he can't climb up the stairs, and all of a sudden, I thought that was, it was a serious moment, but it was kind of comedic. Whereas the one where they're in the stairwell, in that cement stairwell, that was, now that same that kind of moment was really, really like intimidating. It was really like scary now. Whereas you saw the Seventh Doctor, and then they flash to his face when he's up the stairs. He's got that goofy look on him. So he's like, I didn't know you could do that now.
Well, in the old series,
that was a scary moment, but yeah.
It was always the running joke.
Yeah.
Horrors of the universe. They give them a set of stairs. They can't even, get up them, type thing.
But I think that was also a nice little homage to us classic folks who grew up with that. And like saying, oh, by the way, this is New Who, and yeah, he can go up the stairs now. And now he's a menacing monster there. Brian, any last words on Dalek and other stuff?
Okay, if I remember right, this was the only episode that was written by Robert Shearman, but he based it very loosely off a Big Finish audio, which is named Jubilee. And I always recommend heavily, if you've watched Dalek and you love the way that tone was, please, if you get a chance, go pick up a copy of Jubilee and listen to it. It's a very, very dark episode, just even darker than Dalek. Okay, it really is. I highly recommend it.
Jubilee was interesting because, of course, it's Colin's Doctor, first off, but it was a little different because there was only one Dalek left, and basically somehow it was an alternate universe. And, they were celebrating the defeat of the Daleks, but, they were taking homeless people and putting them in Dalek shells. And, just to show, them, we have to have Daleks to destroy all the time on the anniversaries. And so they were using the homeless. It was just like, what? And that was so frippin' dark.
In the same way that the Cybermen in the new reboot, kind of, where the Cybermen were now taking Colin Spall's character, and I can't think of it, but he's opening up the door and all the people are being pushed in. We got free food for everybody. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
In that kind of
building his army that way.
Gotcha. It's Rob Sherman, so I'm biased. I mean, that was probably one of my scenes. I consider one of the definitive scenes. But I still had to yield the laurels to Matt Smith out there. Nisha Mulchin, you're up for bat. Please tell us who your doctor is and what did they do.
Okay,
when you turn on your microphone.
I didn't mute it.
We're professionals here, folks. We are, really.
Do it now.
Oh my goodness. So the episode that I chose, because I've been watching for as long as as they've almost made Doctor Who. So for me to get to a place where I can say that the 12th Doctor has taken that spot in terms of my understanding of the Doctor, and in terms of my love and my absolute passion for the Doctor, that says a lot. Because I've been watching since the third Pertwee, and I adored Pertwee until Capaldi for me. The episode, and there's a lot of reasons for that.
Before you continue on, and I feel bad for the people who are listening, but I got to explain. Are you wearing a TARDIS choker?
Yeah, we have a commercial.
Are you wearing a TARDIS choker? Okay, cool.
I am.
That is awesome.
She's got her own traveling TARDIS.
A BBC filigree TARDIS choker. It was an exclusive that they created that I got at San Diego Comic-Con a few years back.
Sweet.
Yeah, they did a whole series. I also have a Dalek one, which I have to wear one day.
You know what, Nisha? Mm-hmm. Before you mention your episode, we're going to keep everybody on a little bit of a cliffhanger. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, Nisha is going to mention her doctor. Who's your doctor? And what it is that they do. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and continue to become part of the legend.
Alien invaders enslave Earth,
unleashing hunters into the ruined wastes.
One young survivor struggles to elude their monsters, clinging to hope.
When he's stolen off the planet by a sarcastic starship AI, they pit their uneasy alliance against a treacherous galaxy.
Explore a whole new verse of barbarism and betrayal.
Wonder and adventure.
In the Scion series
by Michael J. Allen.
Beginning with Book 1, Scion Conquered Earth.
Available in print, ebook, and audio on Amazon.com.
Hi, I'm Claudia Christian with some exciting updates in the Sinclair Method world. First of all, we launched our new coaching page. It's yoursinclairmethod.com, so you can go there and book a session with one of our fabulous coaches. You can also reach that page by visiting c3foundation.org. It's at the top of the landing page of the website. The second piece of news is Journeys is out. Woohoo! This book has been a long time in the making, and it is available in Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, and there's a limited amount of signed copies at c3foundation.org. So get your copy of Journeys now and visit the coaching page for some wonderful support. If you're on the Sinclair Method, you can book a session with a variety of different coaches. Take care and be well.
Experience Samara's adventure as she imagines the people around her change into friendly cartoon animals right before her eyes. Journey with her in this poetic tale, My Cartoon Imagination at School.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Just to let you know, if you want to become a sponsor upon our show to help us out, because we believe in our sponsors and they believe in us, we believe in them, please write to email sage@hangingwith, HANGIN, withshow.com, or myself, Christian, at hangingwithshow.com. And please sponsor us. We can't, you hear all these shows that say we can't do this without you. Yes, we cannot do this without you. And everything that, we pay for the website, we pay for all of our social media platforms. And if you're somebody who believes in this show and believes in what we do, please help us out there. We'll definitely help you out. We're calling out all the artists, all the authors, everybody who has a great product. We want to help you out. As you can see what we got out here, as far as all the people and all the talented people who support the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, we're here to support you as well. And getting back to the chats, Dalek files for the first time, Remembrance of the Daleks, and he actually put something, a YouTube link on there. So, Nisha, without further ado, who's your doctor?
So,
what did they do?
Well, I said it was good. It was the 12th Doctor. It's Peter Capaldi, and there's every episode, almost every single episode of his entire run for me had so much meaning. Capaldi's understanding of the Doctor was extremely deep knowledge, and I just when I met him, I always felt that he completely understands why I am a Whovian and have been for so long. Mm-hmm. But the episode that had the one of the most impacts on me and still does to this day is Heaven Sent. Heaven Sent for me is an emotional journey, my own emotional journey, because in this episode you have the Doctor being locked into the confession dial, not knowing that that's where he is, right, and alone. And for the first time, the Doctor, who has always said, I will always win. I always have a way. I may go the long way around, but I always find a way to win. And because the Doctor has to believe that. But it takes 5 billion years. The Doctor is in a state of fear, is in anxiety, is in panic, is in stress, is in mourning because of Clara. So many things are going on. And for me, it just represents the entire journey of the struggle, the stress, but the meaning and the purpose of who the Doctor is. And when the Doctor is finally realizes that to break through that wall of Asbantium, the only way to do that is to sacrifice. And it's not one sacrifice. It's not 1,000 sacrifices. It's 4.5 billion, almost 5 billion sacrifices. Every skull that castle was built on was his own. Can you imagine willingly knowing and going into that chamber and letting his body be burnt every single time so that he could get into the next incarnation, so that he could get to a place where he's able to break through that wall? Because on the other side of it, there's a purpose. There's an absolute purpose. And it's just, it's just an emotional journey. It just so much is, especially as a Whovian to me. And as a medical provider, it just means so much. It helps me to keep going on, actually. It always has. So.
And not only that, but I know that this falls into the next episode, to tell you what kind of person the Doctor is and what kind of alien, especially in the interpretation of Capaldi. One of my favorite scenes is the scene where Clara and the Doctor are escaping, and Clara turns to the Time Lords and go, "Wait, how long was he in there?" And he answers, and they answer 4.5. We think he was in there for 4.5 billion years. And she turns to the Doctor, pissed, like, "What the heck did you just do?" And his reaction is typical Capaldi. He's like, "Yeah, and?" It wasn't like it was blowing it off, but it's like, wouldn't you have done the same for me? That kind of look on his face where, it didn't even faze him. He was just, he had to do what was right. He had to get out of the confession dial. He had to do it and save Clara and Gallifrey. And he had to, and that's what kept him going, was his love for Clara, was to keep going, even though it was the most monumental thing for somebody to do, to keep pounding with his bone fist into diamond every single time, and probably nicking a centimeter off, but just kept on going.
At most, exactly.
The thing is, if you think about it, to the Doctor, he might have been in there for that much time, but it didn't feel like that much time to him.
Yeah.
Because maybe it was like 3 days at a time that, passed while he was in the, in the dial. And it was just so amazing, because literally it was Capaldi pretty much by himself for a whole episode. Yeah. And he ate up every scene in that also, which was just wonderful.
Which arguably I've heard people say, some of the best episodes are just Capaldi by himself.
Yeah.
Just him doing his own thing.
You have to wonder about the fans not understanding Moffat's decision to bring in an actor who is in his 50s again, going back to Hartnell days. But if this time for the Doctor to have gone through that, whether it was a male or a female Doctor, I can understand, I can see, because of the strain, the exhaustion, the fatigue. But at the same time, to show that the Doctor had gone through such a long journey to get to this place. It just made sense to me.
My favorite moment in that episode, though, is when he realizes what's going on. And he's inside, the mental TARDIS, and he just breaks down and goes, "What, can I just lose? Just this once?" Because when he realizes, just how long this road's going to be ahead, it almost completely breaks him down, but he still perseveres and goes on. I love that scene.
It was just a great episode. And, just the foreboding and everything as he's going through with it. It was just like, oh my God, he's going through it again and again and again. And it's just like, wow. And, he had every right to be pissed off when he realized where he was.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, because...
And then that was just the last thing, is to claim it and say, "I am the Veil. I am the legend. I am that legend. You created me.
Yeah.
I am a result of everything you've done, and here I am, and I know it now." It's like, oh.
I think Heaven Sent and Hellbent and Heaven Sent kind of bleed into each other, because I don't want to bring in the next episode, but a lot of that reflected off of where the Doctor's just eating his soup and doesn't care about what's going on around. He's going, and then he's just standing there. There's guns pulled out, ready to shoot him, and he's like, "What? Okay, whatever." And he's already one step ahead of Rassilon.
Of course.
He's already got it figured out. And again, it was just like, with Matt Smith on the Pandorica. It was his reputation. And one of the soldiers called it out and just said, the last thing you see when you point a gun at the doctor, that's the last thing you see, or something. I forgot that phrase, whatever that phrase is, if anybody remembers it, is the last thing you see about the doctor is, oh, he's not holding a gun. I hope somebody corrects me on that one, if you remember that.
The first thing you notice about the Doctor of War is that he's unarmed, and it's usually the last thing.
There you go. Thank you so much, Brian. Yeah, that was what I was just trying to get out. But yeah, those two episodes kind of bleed into each other because it was, and it's just Capaldi at his shiniest. Not to say that they're not going to be episodes with. I mean the Zygon speech alone. I mean, there's so many wonderful gems. But for him to have pretty much an episode by himself is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever. But but
the funny thing with it, though, is during the Capaldi era is when I almost gave up on Doctor Who, too.
Really?
Yes. I've been watching Doctor Who since I was 10. So, and that's quite a long time. So basically, during Capaldi, during that Cyberman story where they had the Cyber Brigadier, when I saw him, I was almost like, all right, I'm closing up my podcast. That's it. I am walking away from this. This is just going over the stupid line. And I decided to give it one more shot. And when I saw the next season, when he came out on the tank playing Pretty Woman on the guitar, it was like, okay, I'm staying.
But that's not Capaldi's fault. That was just writing that was just going bizarre. And I didn't want to go too much, but I think Claire overstayed her. I still argue to this day that Nardole should have been his first companion out of the TARDIS. I think Claire overstayed her welcome. That's just me.
Well, she should have left. The story behind that she was supposed to leave in the Christmas episode.
Right.
And then
and then she changed her mind halfway through production.
I just think that he should have started new and fresh with somebody else that had I just feel like he had 11 leftovers. That's what I felt like at some point. It was just like, I don't know what we're doing with her. And she still didn't know what, for a while when she was with Matt Smith, I don't even know why she was in the TARDIS. And then when he got to 12, I'm like, I still don't know why she's in the TARDIS. But that's another story.
That's another episode, buddy.
That's another episode.
Entire episode, because I can eat up the entire chicken myself on that.
Exactly. Why do we hate Clara?
Don't. Thank you.
One other quick note about Hellbent. What I loved most about that episode, for the first, almost, about 10 minutes, Capaldi doesn't say a word.
Nothing.
Nope.
But you can feel that anger just rippling off of him in waves.
Yeah.
He did that so well without saying a word. That's what I loved about that.
Brilliant acting.
I miss him. He should have stayed longer. I miss him. Anyway, Mike, speaking of missing him, Mike, if you're up for go, who is your doctor and what did they do?
Who is my doctor? Matt Smith was my doctor. And the scene where I'm thinking of is in the 11th hour. And at the very end, when he comes out of the hologram and he basically looks at the atrocity and goes, hello, I'm the doctor. And, and now run. Because he kept on, right before that, he was like going, answer me this. Is the Earth protected?
Yep.
And who is protected? And they were showing all the holograms of, all the different doctors and all the different enemies that have tried to threaten the Earth. And it's like, it was just awesome. And then he came out fully dressed in the bow tie because he was still, for the whole episode, he was wearing Tennant's clothes still and everything. And so basically it was just awesome. And it was just like, okay, this is his doctor moment. Every doctor has his doctor moment. And, it depends when in the series it is. Capaldi didn't have, for me, he didn't have his until, the episode that I almost dropped it with, because he said, the one speech, oh, am I a good man or am I a bad man? Or that thing, because he was trying to figure it out the whole season. This was Matt Smith's doctor moment. This is when he became the doctor to me. And right there, he also reminded me of my favorite doctor, which is the second doctor, because he always comes across as very lighthearted, very humorous, but when the crap comes down, he basically, he's ready for action and everything. He doesn't want people to take him too seriously, but he is the smartest man in the room. And he also wanted to differentiate himself from the 10th Doctor, who was more human. The 11th Doctor was a lot more alien and not as emotional, human-wise, as the other Doctors.
Well, let's get back to that, Mike. We're going to talk more about it with the rest of the team when we return. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue talking about Mike's Doctor, which is the 11th Doctor, and part of, what was it, the 11th hour at the end? When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend.
Now on Amazon.com, iCoin from author Jeremy Mosby. It's an alternate reality, and the leader of the planet iCoin is none other than Benjamin Franklin. When corrupt officials threaten not only iCoin but the Earth as well, an unlikely chosen one, Jeremy, must face dark foes to save the Earth and iCoin alike. Author Jeremy Mosby takes readers on a superhero's adventure through this compelling and imaginative alternate universe. Get iCoin on Amazon.com today.
Best-selling and award-winning author of true crime and crime fiction, Yvonne Mason is back with a brand new book, The Pink Canary, a book that delves into the life of a drag queen and a marvelous whodunit. You can find this and all of Yvonne's other works on Amazon.com, or find Yvonne Mason on Facebook and Twitter.
He's gonna kill me.
Buy your copy of Pink Canary now.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television, or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. I'm here with Brian Buress. I'm here with Nisha Mulchin and Diversely Geek, Dr. Freedom by Buress. I'm also here with the ESO Network's Mike Faber, and we've got the lovely and talented artiste Melanie Dean. Stop looking around like you don't know what's going on. Melanie Dean of Pieces of Melee on the Instagram. Check out her stuff, and also on her Facebook page. You want to check out her art because it's awesome. It's really cool there. We're continuing on our discussion. Mike mentioned that his moment, who's his doctor and what does he do or her do? This would have been the end of the 11th hour where he faces the Atraxi. Yeah, I gotta confess that's he's got many moments too, just like Peter Capaldi, where he's just putting it down. He's just laying the law, just saying, "Yes, I'm the doctor." And it's one of those reputation moments. It's just like as he's standing on top of the of the Stonehenge. When he's inside the confession dial, just remember who I am. I'm the doctor. If you really want to put me this, and plus, I got one comment to pull up over here from Graham Krause. There's one thing you never put me in is a trap. There was one thing you never put in the trap, me in the Time of the Angels. That was
which was wonderful.
It was. If it wasn't for Graham Norton, if anybody saw the commercial when BBC played it, I think Graham Norton came out as an animated figure or something like that.
It depends where you saw it too.
Yeah, here it didn't bother us too much because it didn't show up here. But for our friends in the UK, they understand what was that over there. But Graham. Yeah, more discussions. Well, Graham brings us up a Matt Smith episode as well, The Time of the Angels. So anybody wanted to bring up the discussion? I think both of those. I mean, those are, to me, that's when Stephen Moffat is firing on all 6 cylinders, and he's got a terrific actor reading off his stuff.
Oh, very much so.
And he's got the compassion and he's got the compassion and the passion of the actor in the Doctor, reading off those lines and showing people what the Doctor really is.
Well, that's why I liked the 11th Hour also, because it was a new beginning completely for Doctor Who. You had a new showrunner, you had a new actor, you had a new TARDIS, you had a new theme, you had a new companion. It was all new. And you saw the Doctor from a different point of view in this episode, because you had him cooking during the story and you were trying to figure out who is this Doctor. But you also were feeling more and more confident as he was going on with the story. And that's what was really awesome about it.
And you had an adventure going on top of another adventure going on at the same time.
Well, exactly. You had the whole thing with the Atraxi, but you had the whole thing going on with Prisoner Zero at the same time.
And the crack in the wall.
Exactly.
The universe.
You introduced the crack, and then the whole thing with, Amy had been living with Prisoner Zero for all those years, and she had been blocked from seeing the room, and it's like, where did that room come from? And it was just awesome.
Does anybody else want to bring in on that topic? What they thought about the 11th Hour in that moment, in that scene?
I would have said was eloquently put by Meg.
One thing I do want to say though about the 11th Hour. Now, a lot of the Doctors, starting from the beginning, took me a little while to get a handle on them and to actually, become comfortable with them. Now, one thing I got to say right off the bat, Matt Smith had me in one episode, and that was that one. Right off the bat, he had me.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Basically, the exact same thing. It didn't take more than the movement up those steps and through that hologram for you to realize that this Doctor was completely, fully all in. That this was this was going to be a Doctor who was genetically structured to be 2 boots into everything. And I know you said not emotional as from a human perspective, but yet from immediately you could see the brain connecting dots.
Oh, completely. You even get to see what things are like from the Doctor's point of view when he was putting everything together, the pieces and everything in the town. And he noticed that everyone was looking up at the spaceship except for Rory, who was taking a picture of one of his patients who he saw out there. So that was just really interesting.
I think it also gave us an understanding about regeneration, because not only was his brain being put together, it was still working. It was still going on and seeing and seeing perspectives that we don't see as Earthlings, and seeing all those things that Rory taking a picture in a different direction than the other people. But it was still working, but he still didn't know what he could eat. And at one point he's screaming at Amelia, "Are you trying to poison me?" I mean, it's just like, you could still see his brain his body still trying to get together and work things out. At the same time, he's still trying to heal from the regenerative process that he's just gone through. Anybody want to jump in? We're going to save Melanie last but not least, because we always save the best for last. But Graham Krause mentioned there's one thing you never put in a trap is me. What do you think about that scene? I loved it.
Oh, that was awesome, because, that's the truth. It's what spells the Doctor to you, because the Doctor is usually a couple steps ahead of everybody else.
Exactly.
And so it was pretty awesome.
Melanie, you're
yes. Okay,
so your Doctor, what did they do?
Okay, so my Doctor is the 10th Doctor. And originally I was going to say 9, but I always stand by, like I've said any other time, I've always stand by, if I had more seasons of 9, he would have been my Doctor, hands down. However, so I say 10. Now, I know I gave Christian Partners in Crime as the moment that I knew this was my Doctor. And I'm thinking back to it, and I'm wrong. It's actually the episode before that. Oh. It's actually no. It's a 2-parter, because it's this. It is Partners. Let me put it this way. Voyage of the Damned was when I realized this is the Doctor. when he went on and said, "I am the Doctor," blah blah blah, the Time Lord from the constellation Castor-Boreas, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about? The flames behind him, all that.
You're right.
That made me realize this is the Doctor, as in the 10th Doctor. David Tennant is the Doctor. That was my the Doctor moment. But I liked him. I liked him with Rose. I liked him with Martha, but they never had neither one of those arcs had the greatest episodes because I really got tired of the relationship thing. Right. And it was with Rose, I get it from that. At least they were able to bridge Rose from 9 to Rose with 10. They were able to do that really well. Then they got rid of her. But then poor Martha, and I will die on this hill, should have never been the pining person that she should have been in love with. They should have never written that for her and then just let her be a strong character on her own.
Right.
The reason
she was the rebound from hell, basically.
Yes, and she should not have been. Okay, another episode. Me and Nisha are just going to go off on that.
We're going to do it.
The Emancipation of Martha Jones. We're going to go off.
It's going to happen. It's happening.
So we got Voyage of the Damned. I got this is my, Christian was fast on that. Because he wasn't prepped for this. So that was my, he's the Doctor moment. But I don't know whether or not Astrid's going to become a companion, and spoiler alert, she doesn't. So I'm thinking, what the hell are we going to do? I don't know whether or not the third season's going to be. We get Partners in Crime. We get Donna Noble back. Donna is not as yelly, screamy, fighty as she was in Runaway Bride. She was a little tamped back down because she grew a little bit. But we were going to get a good comedy role between them. And that's when I realized, this is my Doctor. This whole series of his third, season, I guess you can call it. That's when we had some of the best episodes, in my opinion, for 10. We had Fires of Pompeii. So we knew, Donna can actually do serious too. She's not going to just be comedy. But we got rid of that whole the relationship stuff. Yeah. Midnight was insane. Unicorn and the Wasp was again more fun and kind of more slapsticky. So, but then if you want to go again heavy, Silence in the Library, Forest of the Damned. So I say that Partners in Crime was that moment when I realized, we're going to have a good season now. This is my Doctor. I finally had that taste of, I'm going to have fun. I'm no longer having that mime scene, y'all. That's the type of friendship you have when your best friend and you share the same brain cell and you could be on completely different areas and have a completely different conversation without saying an actual audible word. That to me was, and this is where we talked a lot about it on Earth Station Who, and I love this episode. I love this episode. It's that vaudevillian fun, it was kinetic, it was fun, it was engaging, and just shot so well. So yeah, Partners in Crime was that moment when I realized this is my Doctor, this is what I'm here for. Go away relationship stuff. I want to have adventures that are going to be fun and exciting. And my God, that season was a roller coaster.
And that was the one interesting thing with it was I mentioned it when we did Earth Station Who, is I ate crow big time with that because I was very vocal about not wanting Donna on the TARDIS and everything. I despised her after the Runaway Bride. I was like, she's horrible. I don't want a whiny, yelly character who's going to bully the Doctor all the time. I didn't want that. And I was happy to say pleasantly that she is my favorite 10th Doctor companion and everything. Donna was just awesome.
And I think one of the things I love about Donna, I had my misgivings because when I heard Nardole was coming back, I was like, God, no, please don't do it. And the moment that they were standing in front of the map and Nardole comes out with his oatmeal, whatever he's eating at the moment, and then Capaldi's going like, they're going after the major cities. They're like, or the city capitals, and Nardole's going like, no, they're not. I was just like, that's the kind of thing I really enjoy, especially, what was it? The scene where there's Missy and they're about to execute Missy, and and Nardole comes in, he's wearing the monk outfit, and say, I have permission from your wife to kick your ass. Things like that are harken back, because I think when it comes to Donna and the 10th Doctor, harken back to the second Doctor and Jamie, when it became the buddy. There was no romance.
Yes.
There was nothing. They were just sparring
Yes.
off each other. But I
Yes.
think Catherine Tate made a great decision to hold back, because I think just like Nardole, Donna knew when to go, you're the space god. I don't mess with this.
Quiet tension.
And even in the scene with the fires in Pompeii, she's going like, save somebody. I know you're the space god. I know this is not what you want to do, but save somebody. She knew where her place was in the relationship, but she also, would do things, slap him around and stuff like that. You're not mating with me, sunshine, things of that nature. So yeah, I get to see
she and Nardole both challenged the Doctor.
Yeah.
So, and they knew that as a friend, as almost in a sibling kind of familial relationship, where you're going to push, you're going to poke you, but it's that fun of, look, I can pick on you because you're my family. If anyone else dares pick on you, I will cut their head off.
Exactly.
It almost had that type of bond, and I kind of felt that for both Nardole and Donna, almost from the get-go, or not even the get-go, that second episode when they came back, and they really they had that chemistry, which was great.
Oi, watch it, spaceman.
Oi, watch it, Earth girl. Nisha, I'll give you the last word. I know you were chomping.
No, I just wanted to jump in and say, I agree with you. One of my absolute favorite companions of all time is Donna. And if I feel that Donna was one of the only companions that ever had, it was like a big sister. That's it. I've always saw her as the big sister. And because of that, she wielded a power that any Doctor and any companion would have been different. I think so in the long run, because they would have respected Donna, because there's no holds barred with her, and a character who just is so, I think, has been so misunderstood by the fandom. I wish more people would, would love her more, but I think you're right, very much so. I think that she gave a huge credence to the Doctor to not have to be in a love relationship, just in a relationship, in a familial one, which was really important at this time, because we had been missing it for so long.
Yeah.
Right. Well, folks, we've got to end on that note. We just want to wrap up by saying we want to thank again Meredith and the team at Geek Insider, geekinsider.com. Without her and her team, we would not be doing this live. You can stick around for the after party. Please all do. I'm sure you got some questions or some chats we can go through real fast. Also, we want to welcome our another new home that we are part of, the Gratitude Radio Network. Go to gratituderadionetwork.com. Check out the Mother of Gratitude, Jen Hall herself. We are happy to be part of that. And don't forget HarleyCon, August 15th. Just go to HarleyCon 2020 on the Facebook page, and you'll see our show. And I did get a time. It will be 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 15th. So check it out. And there's going to be a plethora of good stuff out there. Melanie, are you doing something? I know Mark's doing something. But are you doing something? Yeah, well, you're part of the show. You're part of the team there.
Part of the show, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. So, folks, again,
Me
please
too.
stay.
I'm just letting you know, me too.
Go. Oh, that's right, Nisha. Yeah, you're part of it. Yes. So, yeah, please do. August 15th, Nisha, Melanie, myself, and anybody else is going to be part of the team out there. We're going to be talking Doctor Who, and we really don't know what we're going to be doing yet. So, going to be checking that out. Thank you for everybody joining us. Please to continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend. And boom.
Bye.
Bye. So, folks, we're here at the after party. If you guys want to continue to chat, by all means, go ahead. I did kind of skip some chats, but Meredith came in and said hello. And Graham, Melanie, nodding vigorously over here.
It was almost like one of my Funko Bobble dolls, right, or something like that.
Was there an episode or a moment we forgot that we should have mentioned? Can anybody?
Oh, there's plenty.
I know there's tons. That's the thing. There's a billion.
Because honestly, if you told me what was the moment for you for Ninth Doctor, I would have said Dalek. If it's going to be the 10th Doctor, then I would have said it was Voyage of the Damned.
The thing is, we could do everybody.
So I realized that was the moment, and then Partners in Crime was the So no, the moment was Voyage of the Damned, and that was the this could be the moment, but I don't know whether or not we're gonna fall or not. And Partners in Crime took the baton and ran it, and ran it in. But that could have been
with a window, you know, because it took a little while with an up and down in the writing.
Well, especially like with the 13th Doctor, when she was facing Tim Shaw and they were up on the scaffolding and everything, and he went, "Who are you? Who are you?" And it says, "I'm glad you asked me that again." And and she says, "I'm the Doctor." Blah blah blah. And that was just awesome. And it's like, Jodie, you knocked it out of the ballpark, and everything. It was great.
See, interesting enough, we haven't had a Jodie moment, and my Jodie moment is Revolution. The moment that she's taking on what I call the female hologram Dalek. And she's just, they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That moment, I really think Jodie shined. There's some other moments, but that one.
I know. I love it when she flipped that button and said, "Now say it to my face."
Exactly. That was the moment. Now say it to my. I was like, oh, damn, she's getting feisty, girl.
That's the problem with Jodie's season so far. It's just there's so many hits and misses, and they're not getting me that. I mean, those last season between finally having the horror story where Graham sees the ghosts and they're in the room with the writers and it's Mary Shelley's in there. I can't remember.
The Haunting of Villa Diabati.
Love that one. I love that one. Love the Tesla one. There was like a series where it was like, oh, we are doing this. This is great. And I forget. It's like then you have an Earth or Orphan 55. And you're like, oh my God, guys, no. Jesus, no.
Like I said, like all seasons, there's been those ones that you can't burn out of your brain, like Arachnids in the UK. Oh,
I'll still go to sleep and hear Benny. I'm like,
I know. It was bad.
They're just
guys,
amazing.
I have to cut out.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's cool. Sorry, I can't stay longer. We're recording Earth Station 1 in like 45 minutes.
Oh, go prep.
Yeah, I've got to go prep for that. And thank you guys for having me. And we are going to be talking about the third Doctor tonight, so it should be a lot of fun.
Do me. I just saw the tail, Melanie.
I know Luna's just been walking.
Mike, do me a favor. Send me the link that Melanie was in, and I'll post it. Or if you can send me the actual link from it, I want to share from the page so that the page gets some. Send it to me, and I'll.
She can. Melanie has it.
I have it. I'll do it. I'll send it to you.
Cool. And she's also going to be in the Geek Seat in a couple of weeks on Earth Station 1. So it should be really interesting.
I saw her first.
Oh yeah, and then she might be appearing. She might be appearing at Dragon Con with us too.
I have a lot of free time now because last week I was laid off permanently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm one of the many people who got to claim unemployment. So it's okay. I'll be fine. I'm going to school again, figured real estate and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I still now got room to do art and all that kind of stuff. So don't cry for me, Argentina. I'll be fine. Aww. But if you need anything done, let me know. If you want me to talk, I have time.
Exactly. So
great time to go back to school. Great time.
Bye, guys.
See you again, Mike.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye,
you can do it. Oh.
We're going to be busy a lot in September. I'm just letting you know. We are in talks with Necronomicon Online. We are sealing the deal. So we're going to be tagging along with them. And a lot of people are still watching. You're getting a nice little thingy. So Necronomicon. Fun fact. Yeah. Well, you're getting stuff that we're not saying just as yet, but we're working on it. And Mike was mentioning Dragon Con, and who's not to say we might be joining Dragon Con. That's a negotiation too. So we're in talks. We're 50-50 on that, but
because they're really trying to pare down all their stuff, but you never know because you don't know who else is going to be jumping in there. So I've got the bandwidth to do something.
Yeah, and there is one more convention. I'm just waiting back from them, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. It's a one-day con, and I think it just happens to be sitting on the same precipice with. I think it's on the same weekend as Necronomicon, so it's like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I think Friday would be, what was it, RoberCon. So there's a third con in there, but I think it's a Robocon is the Friday and Necronomicon is the Saturday, Sunday. So we're going to be busy once we start getting things. But we're just letting you folks know.
Did Con K cancel? I can't remember.
I haven't heard a word from Matt. I'm not pushing.
I know it's October, so I don't know what.
I don't know what
I want to say he might have. I can't remember.
I was going to talk to Matthew about if he decides to move it online. That will help.
Yeah.
If he goes online, so yeah, I mean, if he wants to keep the weekend and move it to an online thing, but I haven't pushed it because I feel like if I say something, I might jinx it, so I'm going to leave it alone. When we get closer to it, I will decide that.
I just had a major Capaldi moment pop into my head that truly defined the Doctor.
What?
The Doctor falls. The speech he gives to the two masters, Missy.
Yes.
Oh,
Who
yes.
I am is where I stand, and where I stand is where I fall. That speech right there just nailed it for me. All's well.
Oh, and what hurts so much is John Sims' Doctor going up and goes, "See this face?
Yep.
This is the face that didn't hear a word that you said," because the Doctor put both of his hearts out on the table and just literally said, "This is who I am. This is what I am." And it may not even be right, and I could lose, but it's still it's still correct what I'm doing. It's still the best thing. We have to try.
Because it's decent.
2 times out. Just
because it's decent and it's kind.
Because it's decent and it's kind.
Yes.
But it was strong enough just to make Missy change her mind just a little.
Yep.
That's the future master. At least it's a beautiful conundrum where that they created it themselves that then allows that conundrum to then unfold in the rest of as the series unfolds itself. And that's what you call brilliant writing, where you create plots that make sense and opening pathways. And in that moment, I couldn't have John Sims. Oh my God.
I first thought that there was going to be 2 masters back, and I'm like, wait, how are they going to do this? And oh my God, they did it flawlessly. It was just perfect.
What a beautiful dichotomous relationship between Missy and the master.
Yeah, and how they interplay with each other, and then with the Doctor.
They hate,
and then Nardole just jumping in there.
I've always said to this day that I've always said the Doctor will never be the one to kill the Master. The Master would be the one to kill the Master. I didn't think it would actually be executed in this story. Where's Graham's here? Graham, Capaldi was better and better, but when he remembers why he has face sealed him as my Doctor.
Because of his
we realized.
From Pompeii.
The girl who died.
I
remember that episode. Yeah,
leading to be kind.
To be kind.
Yeah,
and to save people. No, it was to be
I'm
kind.
the Doctor and I save people.
Save people.
Yeah.
And if anybody has a problem with that, the hell with you. Yeah, basically.
Well, it became part of that Galaxy Quest line. Never cruel or cowardly. Never give up, never give in.
Never give in, never give in. Mm-hmm.
Which is the mantra of the Doctor and why he exists, or she exists now.
I love Galaxy Quest, by the way.
I love that. I remember when that came out, saw it in the theater, nobody else was there. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you people?
I don't think anybody understood. I think everybody thought it was a spoof.
And it kind of was, but it was brilliantly done. It was before its time. It was one of those before its time things.
Yeah. It's the Orville, for a better term, I think. What the Orville did Star Trek, I think Galaxy Quest did for the sci-fi genre.
Great show.
Yeah. I just got my mom into the Orville.
It's got its funny bits. It's got its but okay, I'm gonna say it. The Orville seems more Star Trek than Star Trek right now.
Well, there's a story behind it.
I know the opinions and stuff like that, but I'm just like, I enjoy the Orville because I think it's more Star Trek, even though it is kind of got the spoofy, witty stuff. It still knows what the boundaries are. It still knows how to tell the story.
Hey! You can't apply boundaries to the Star Trek universe.
Well, that's because originally it was supposed to be Star Trek. A lot of people don't know this, but Seth MacFarlane took the whole concept to Paramount.
He did.
He wanted to do his own Star Trek series, and they basically laughed him out of the studio. They ain't laughing now.
Yeah.
No.
But Series 3 is now going to be on Netflix or something like that, right?
It's on Hulu now. Fox canceled it, but I almost wonder it's because it's just the budget's so big for CGI and whatnot and makeup.
Well, it's been moved to Hulu.
Yep, it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
I literally got my mom hooked on it now. And the whole thing, she's like, well, what is this? Like Star Trek? I'm like, and Kevin just turns around and goes, it's like Galaxy Quest. She goes, oh, I'm going to like this. I'm like, yeah. And there's going to be parts, I'm like, there's episodes here that are going to get dark.
Also, regarding Galaxy Quest,
they're going to be good.
One of my favorite hidden Easter egg laughs in Galaxy Quest is remember when the captain's facing the big rock giant?
Yes.
The reason they put that in there is because at the end of Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, there was originally supposed to be when all that statue and all that at the end of the movie collapses, it was supposed to reform into a rock giant and chase Kirk, Spock, and the rest of them off. But they ran out of budget for the sci-fi for the movie, and that's why they went with the giant floating holographic head following. That's why they put the scene in there with, you know, the captain and the giant in Galaxy Quest, was to make fun of that scene that never happened in Star Trek V.
That is brilliant.
Oh, that the little weird, the poor pig, the poor pig in that scene. I say it's a pig, right?
I see you got your shirt off.
Oh yeah, your shirt on back. Yep.
Yeah, see, you managed to get your shirt off. Of course,
the cast of Galaxy Quest worked so well with each other. I could not see anybody else in the roles. I meant Sigourney and Tim and Alan. I mean, the three of them just sparred off, and then you got Tony Shalhoub, who's just kind of like he's there. He's just like, you know, he's just like in a corner going, "Well, I meant to fix this one day." It's just like, you know, he's just like kind of there, and it's just like you have all these dynamic personalities, but once they start working together. And they start interacting, and they start, you know, spouting out at each other. It's just gold. It's comedy gold. Let's watch it.
Now, another Galaxy Quest moment you can't unsee once you see it. Now, remember the scene where they're about to go through the choppers?
Yeah.
You know, all the thing. What happened was they had to edit Galaxy Quest down to get the rating. I think it was PG-13, wasn't it? Because watch Sigourney Weaver's mouth. Remember when she said, screw that? Bomb. That's not what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
watch your mouth. She said something else.
Yeah. He dropped the F, which I think they should have let her. He's just put the F-bomb back in.
Why don't I use it now?
Yeah.
Right back in
the Blu-ray.
Well, I think one of the greatest things about Galaxy Quest and why it still holds up now is because even back then when they did General Saris, that was all practical. And I remember back then looking at going, oh, when he does that little lionfish thing of going, when he gets mad, you know, the little, those little, I always thought lionfish, those spike kind of things. And I was like, oh my God, that's a practical effect. This looks amazingly real. Yeah. So whoever did the prosthetics, whoever did all the animatronics within it, it looked amazing then. And now as you keep going, the CG is kind of, you know, it's dated for a movie that was back in 99, but he still looks spot on beautiful. I mean, that thing is just still creepy AF. I mean, yes, if you've never seen Galaxy Quest, you should go see it now. Rent it.
Yes.
Seriously.
You really should. And then you should watch it a few more times because I promise you're going to miss things on your first and second watch. It's such a subtly beautiful show at Alan Rickman. Woo.
Yes.
Alan
Rickman. Always brilliant Alan Rickman, no matter what he does. Matter of fact, little tidbit, a little bit of trivia since we spoke of Alan Rickman. He did do a short movie with Jodie Whittaker. The name of it is called Dust. If you can find it, I think it's still up on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't think Jodie has any lines in it, really, but like I said, it's a nice little short film, and trust me, the ending of this will freak you out just a little bit.
Oh.
It's called Dust, I believe. Yeah, it's a little short movie.
I like the fact that you have movies like Galaxy Quest and Paul that actually embrace the geekdom. They actually have fun with it. They don't make fun of it. They show the reality of it, but they actually have a good time and they pay homage to it at the very end.
I love Paul.
Paul is. Chris Heffern, Galaxy Quest is the ultimate fan tribute to the genre. Yep,
They had to be fans. Exactly.
the writers had to be fans. I have no doubt that is the case. That you had to have some kind of love of the genre to write that.
It was distributed by DreamWorks back when DreamWorks wasn't DreamWorks yet. Okay, it's at the very beginning of this production this production company that then creates its own genre, and it's made up of animators and production and technical artists and creators who were all fans. I mean, that's how they started. They were fans, and they were from multiple other backgrounds. And then you create this company. So yeah, that's absolutely, I think, what the value was in them being able to put Galaxy Quest out there.
Everybody, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine that I just I've been talking to. She's got her own YouTube channel. This is Blue Bonnet Whovian. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So you guys want to subscribe? I'm going to give you a plug, Blue Bonnet. Check her out on her YouTube channel. She's very vocal about what she feels about Doctor Who, so I'm just giving you some warning. If she didn't like it, there's no holds bar. But am I right about that, Blue Bonnet? I'll see if she'll write back there. But I want to wish her hi. I'm hoping we will have her on the show one time. But guys, this was a fun episode. I love doing episodes like this.
This was fun.
I'm taking a break.
Taking a break from all the interviewing. Because that's been we've had long
just showing it out there. Interviews.
I know it was like, hey, we're gonna do we're just gonna do an episode on a Tuesday. I'm sorry, what? We're gonna do what? We don't do that anymore. Please, it needs to be Saturday morning. And we're talking to somebody.
I'm glad Blue Bonnet's in here because I think you meant Blue that you were talking that you had mentioned that you like Jason Connery. And Jason, they have the 5-hour difference in the future. So right now it's it's like 12:24 12:24 a.m. on their side. And I asked because we tell our guests we record 11 p.m. your time on Tuesday nights. Are you sure you want to? Yeah, I'll be happy to do. I'm like, it's 11 p.m. You actually have to get it like 3 times out of them to make sure that I just want to let you know what you're signing up for. And he was there. He was there, and he was just
he didn't mind. Simon doesn't mind. Rob wanted 9 p.m. No, Rob wanted 2 a.m.
Good God, Rob Sherman.
Sherman.
Some vampire.
He wanted 2 a.m. his time. Because we were on at 9 p.m.
He could have kept going. He said he doesn't. He's a night owl. He's a third shift guy.
Plus. It was one of the best episodes in the world. All it was the 3 of us giggling and him talking.
Exactly. I told Melanie, I said, because we only had, I think it was me, you, and Mackenzie, right?
Yeah.
That was it. And I said, trust me, we don't need anybody else. I even said, Brian doesn't even need to do the news. Just let Rob do his thing. And Rob took it off. And he could have kept, that's the thing, he could have kept going. I was on another podcast, and we had to break it up in 2 episodes. It wasn't because, he kept going, but it's not like we could have edited anything. Everything he says is gold. Everything he says is funny. So we're like, we don't want to take it out, so we had to do it. And, Blue says she watched the Katie Manning one yesterday, and I was fangirling.
Katie's amazing.
And now StreamYard 2 episodes. She was 2 episodes with us.
But Katie can now support StreamYard.
Yeah. I'm glad to see she's back tweeting again on a regular basis, Katie.
Is the eye patch gone, or she still got it on there?
I think she's still got it on there. It's going to be there, I think, for a little while yet.
No. I'm glad she's doing that. Yeah, there's 2 episodes, Blue. I don't know if there's one with her, and I just off the cuff thought of an idea, and I think we're starting to implement it, Blue. We're seeing if previous guests will come on and become part of the panel to interview the next guest. So I told Tim when Tim Treloar, he does the 3rd Doctor audios for the Big Finish. I said, what are the chances that Katie came on? We're going to have her on the panel and have her interview. And even with all the technical issues, because literally he's holding Katie by the phone in FaceTime, holding it up by the microphone. That was the only way we could get Katie on because she was having some Wi-Fi issues. And we did the interview just like that for Tim. And Katie was asking, and I think they were just flirting the most of the time. But it was.
She had wonderful questions though about preparing and how he approached different things to not to emulate, not to do an impersonation of Pertwee as the Third Doctor, but how do you actually jump into that character and be the Third Doctor? She was like, "Oh, darling, I'm prepared." She had she was ready to go.
But it would be my dream wish if I could have guests who've been on come back and panel up. Let's just say I'm in talks with a few, and some of them have shown, but to have them as the panel, to be with us, interviewing somebody else, and
great, I love it.
Yeah, we have Simon Fisher Becker. He literally is part of the Traveling TARDIS now, and he always comes up and he's been interviewing people as well. So it's nice to have somebody who's actually in the show, like him playing Dorian Moldovar, and I think he was in the Collins Fall episode a while back. He was with gosh, what was it? Was he with Richard Ashton, or was he with Ross Mullins?
I can't remember.
He was with Sophie. I mean, we did the interview.
He was with Sophie. Yeah, it's just nice to have like somebody on our side who was.
Simon was with Katie too. That first just Katie episode.
She
Simon
was with the first Katie.
He was on that.
And he loves it. So and he's up for it. So I'm just like, well, what are you doing at 11 o'clock at night?
Now, my favorite part of the first Katie one was when we're sitting there talking, the interview's over, and suddenly she's back. She didn't know that her tablet was still on, her phone was still on the StreamYard or something.
Oh, yeah. For the folks who are still watching us and Blue, Katie, when we were done with the interview, apparently she didn't shut off her computer, so we could still hear Katie talking on the other side, and she was just rambling on. And I think if you saw the first Katie episode, we felt so bad because Katie has an eye problem. She's myopic, and the thing is that to sign into Skype at that time, you had to do that thing with the 9 squares, and you had to find like the street lights or the bicycles, and she can't do that. It was she just could not pull it off, and it took her forever. And she goes, and as soon as she got onto on the radio show, we started recording. That was her first thing. She started griping. Oh, darling, I can't believe it takes this. So I'm like, I'm sorry, Katie. I am so sorry. But she was so happy just to get on there. So
well, the good thing is, like again, StreamYard has now become more Apple or more iPhone and iPad friendly now. So that's
what it was, because she was using Apple products.
Yes,
that's
why
she
don't use these.
I'm so sad. I had to jump off of it.
I have to jump off too. If you folks are still watching, you still want some entertainment, Josh Bauer with Back Talk with Josh. You can check it out on his YouTube channel. Just go to the HWWS. He's on right now as we speak. He's been on for a half hour. And my good friend Brian K. Morris on his channel. He is an author doing a clever title pending. If you want to get some stuff. But yeah, we're going to be going ahead and have dinner right now. Blue and everybody who joined us, Graham, Chris, Maria, everybody, thank you for joining us. Meredith, as always, thank you for letting us on the StreamYard. And we're going to end the broadcast right now. So everybody, thank you so much. We'll be releasing the audio shortly. Next week, we're going to be talking with everybody from HarleyCon 2020. So that's going to be next week. And we're going to have a wonderful convention in the middle of August. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Oh, I know. And oh my God, that is epic. Yeah, I knew that she filmed Doctor Who without glasses. I understand. I understand. I am blinded without my contacts. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I'm legally blind.
Same here. Yeah.
So Blue, I'll catch you later, guys.
I can't see further away than this without mine. It's
if I don't have my contacts, things like a big street sign just right up there, I can't even read. I can only make out the stop sign. That's it. So Meredith, thank you so much. Hugs and spanks. Okay, we're gonna end this right now. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a great day. And you three, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Always.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, my dears.